Most paint manufacturers fail not because they lack money, not because they lack equipment, but because they never learn this system correctly. See, if you start producing paint without learning the foundation first, every batch becomes a gamble, and guessing is expensive, very expensive. I run a paint production business and I train manufacturers, beginners and professionals to stop guessing and start producing with factory logic. Now, there's something I usually tell my students, and I also bring it here for my community. You see, paint manufacturing is not about mixing, it's about understanding. And when you hear the word about understanding, it's about you knowing the right system and order to go about in your paint production process. Most people rush to formula. They copy measurement, they chase recipes, but they never learn why each chemical exists. Before you produce any paint, you must understand three things. One is the structure, two, the function, and the third is the balance. Now, let me explain these three things for you to have the right understanding. The first is structure. So now, structure is how paint holds itself together. Without structure, paints crack, powder, and peel. So that's to say, the structure simply means what helps your paint to have a grip so it won't crack after drying. You won't see a powdery on the soft faces and it won't peel from the wall. Now, what is function? Function is what each chemical actually does, not its name, not the job of the chemical. You understand? And that is why a lot of us get it wrong. You have to know what each chemical does, not their name, not their jobs. For instance, nitrosol. You know, nitrosol, it's a thickener, and we have different types of nitrosol. You understand? And we know that nitrosol is a thickener. But when we talk about function, what does nitrosol really do? That's to say, you know that nitrosol holds this paint together and also makes a paint to stick on the wall, and it thickens that paint. So that's to say, if there is no well structured nitrosol in your paint during production process, it simply means you're going to have a watering paint. Your chemicals are not going to be hold together, and if you apply this paint on the wall, the paint is going to drop off. This is to say that you're not just talking about the name of the paint or the job of the paint, but you understand the function, what this nitrosol, the chemical itself, actually does in a paint. This is what function is. So now, balance. Balance is what separates professional from guessers. Too much of one thing destroy the whole system. That is why you need to balance your chemicals during production process. And this is why paint fails after drying. This is why it settles in the bucket. This is why contractors reject those products, because it is not well balanced. And that's why I'm explaining to you the meaning of structure, function, and balance. If you know these three basic things as a paint manufacturer, you'll be able to produce your paint with confidence. You don't need to run around looking for random formulation. Like I said, too much of everything destroys the system. All right, let me ask you a quick question, and I need an honest answer. Have you ever produced paint that failed after drying? Type yes or no in the comment section because I want to be sure I'm not talking to myself. And of course, I have an engaging audience watching. Now, before many paints, before fancy products, learn the foundation. When you understand the foundation, you stop fearing formulation. You stop copying randomly. You start building your system. I keep saying this. We are all in different environments and we have different systems. So when you understand your own system, you will know what is going to work for you in your own environment and of course using your own climate weather. I've had a student that I taught how to produce Tina, and when I was teaching him he was like, Coach Gleaner, how come this formulation is different from this? Because I gave him three different formulation. The reason I gave him three different formulation is because based on the climate weather where he is. You understand? And I told him this is a normal general thinner if you're going to be selling into the market. And of course, you have to put this on your label container. Now, as a manufacturer producing for yourself in this your own country, this is what you're going to be using to have a unique product. And now, if you are exporting out of your country, this is what you're going to be producing for those other countries that is not in your country. And he was surprised. You understand? So you need to understand the system. You need to see paint manufacturing is not all about mixing. I could be in Kenya, you could be in Tanzania, this other person could be in Nigeria. We are all in African countries, but our weathers are different. So you should basically know what is going to suit you properly. Even in Nigeria, there are some kind of ways that you produce a paint and you will be surprised that how come I just produce certain paint and it's peeling off from the wall? There is a system you are missing. Before we continue, remember to subscribe and don't just watch. We appreciate all your support, our Gleanify students worldwide, our channel members, and every subscriber here. If you're new, you're welcome. We love you all. Give this video a thumbs up by liking this video. It truly helps the channel. Thank you once again. Professionals don't guess. They design paint backwards from performances to formulation. That is the differences. If you want to learn paint manufacturing professional as a beginner or as someone already producing paint, then join our training program. The Zero to Manufacturing System. The link is in the description. Make use of it rightfully and of course upgrade your skill or learn paint manufacturing the right way. Because that is where we teach the full system. You can also check our Glinified Paint ebook for advanced expert formulation to guide you properly. Thank you once again for watching. See you until the next class. Bye for now.